Hello everyone, and welcome to another brand new episode on my channel, Bohemian BookClub. Today I'll be talking about the book, Never Split the Difference, written by Voss and Tahl Raz. Christopher Voss is an American businessman, author, and academic. Tahl Raz is an award-winning journalist and best-selling author. In Never Split the Difference, the authors delve into the realm of high-stakes negotiations, unveiling 9 powerful principles comprising unconventional tactics and strategies. These principles equip readers to enhance their persuasiveness in various aspects of life, whether professional or personal. By elevating emotional intelligence and intuition, the book empowers individuals with a competitive advantage in any dialogue or negotiation scenario. Before moving ahead, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Part 1. You want what you want. Negotiation isn't just reserved for high-stakes business deals or reality TV shows like Shark Tank. In fact, it's a skill we use daily in various aspects of life, whether it's convincing a spouse to try a new restaurant or getting kids to go to bed on time. Learning to negotiate effectively means understanding that everyone operates on the basic instinct of wanting something, often driven by emotion rather than rational thought. Traditional negotiation techniques often fail because they assume people can separate their emotions from the problem at hand, ignoring the reality of our innate cognitive biases that make us irrational beings. So how do you navigate negotiations with emotional and irrational individuals? Recognize that our brains function in 2 modes: fast, emotional thinking, and slow, logical reasoning. However, the emotional system typically holds more sway, influencing our rational judgment. One crucial cognitive bias to understand is the framing effect, wherein people's reactions depend on how a situation is presented. This is evident even in negotiating with toddlers, who are perhaps the epitome of emotional and irrational behavior. For instance, imagine trying to manage a situation where a toddler wants a toy in a store. By framing the scenario differently, such as offering the option of more money for ice cream later, instead of outright denial, you can steer the outcome in your favor. Ultimately, effective negotiation boils down to understanding human psychology and framing situations to elicit the desired response. Part 2. The power of no. How do you react when faced with rejection? For many negotiators, hearing the word no can evoke feelings of disappointment and failure. However, according to Voss, a renowned negotiation expert, no is actually highly valuable to skilled negotiators. It serves as a crucial indicator of the other party's comfort level and sets the stage for productive negotiations by clarifying their desires and boundaries. Conversely, receiving a premature yes can sometimes be detrimental, akin to being pressured by an overly assertive salesperson. While initially empowering, saying yes offers only temporary control, often leading to eventual acquiescence to end the interaction swiftly. However, behind every no lies a wealth of meaning, signaling various sentiments such as discomfort, hesitation, lack of understanding, or alternative preferences. Rather than viewing no's as a roadblock, Voss emphasizes its potential for insight and progress in negotiations. Each no presents an opportunity to gather more information, strengthen rapport, and craft a more advantageous deal. Thus, instead of fixating on reaching yes, Voss underscores the value of embracing and leveraging the power of the no in negotiation dynamics. Part 3. Be the mirror. Listening is a fundamental aspect of effective communication, yet it's often more challenging than it seems. Despite listening constantly, individuals frequently filter what they hear, get distracted, and formulate responses while others are speaking. Acknowledging this lack of full attention reveals that listening is indeed a complex skill that negotiators must master. In high-pressure scenarios, such as hostage negotiations, distractions abound, from adhering to protocols to navigating the chaos of the situation. Chris Voss, through his experiences, developed a listening technique to establish rapport and comfort with the other party. Recognizing that feeling unheard breeds frustration, repetition, and a sense of insignificance, Voss devised the mirroring strategy to foster trust and enhance negotiation outcomes. Mirroring entails mimicking the other party's body language, speech patterns, word choices, and tone to signal similarity and trustworthiness. By echoing the last few words spoken by the counterpart, Voss demonstrated attentive listening and understanding. For example, in a hostage situation, where a robber lamented the departure of his driver, Voss mirrored back, "Your driver was chased away." This technique encouraged the counterpart to continue sharing information, leading to successful resolutions, such as the arrest of the driver. Psychologist Richard Wiseman tested the effectiveness of mirroring in a simulated pressure cooker environment, comparing it to positive reinforcement in customer interactions at a busy restaurant. The group of waiters employing mirroring techniques garnered 70% more tips than those using positive reinforcement, illustrating that mirroring fosters a sense of being heard and understood, thus enhancing communication and rapport. Part 4. Labeling empathy. If you believe that mirroring alone is sufficient for successful negotiation, you're mistaken. Building trust and rapport with your counterpart requires more than simply repeating their words. This is where empathy plays a crucial role. Empathy involves recognizing and understanding the perspective of the other person. While empathy may not come naturally to everyone, there's a tactic that Chris advocates to facilitate its use: labeling. Labeling entails identifying and verbalizing the emotions experienced by your counterpart, without judgment or personal opinions. This approach demonstrates understanding and can help alleviate tension, paving the way for productive negotiation. For example, Chris recounts a negotiation from 1998, where he was tasked with dealing with 4 prison fugitives. By empathizing with their fear of returning to prison and the perceived threat of law enforcement, Chris fostered a connection with them, leading to their eventual surrender after 6 hours of dialogue. During this process, it's crucial to refrain from using the word "I," as the focus should remain entirely on the counterpart's emotions. The avoidance of I statements prevents the other party from shifting attention to your needs instead of their own. For instance, in the negotiation with the fugitives, Chris avoided phrases like, "I want you to surrender," opting instead for statements such as, "You must be feeling scared." By prioritizing the acknowledgement of their emotions without inserting personal agendas, Chris effectively validated their feelings and steered the negotiation towards a desired outcome. To listen to more interesting summaries, please subscribe to my channel. Part 5. That's right. In negotiations, hearing a resounding yes is often the desired outcome, signifying success. However, establishing rapport through empathy and mirroring is only the beginning of effective negotiation tactics. To progress from rapport to influence, and secure that coveted yes, you must employ a strategic approach, eliciting the phrase, "That's right," from your counterpart. While seemingly straightforward, hearing "that's right" from your opponent holds the key to gaining influence and steering them towards agreement. It's crucial to distinguish "that's right" from "you're right." The distinction lies in the acknowledgement of a realization rather than a concession of correctness. Consider the difference between responding "you're right" and "that's right" in a conversation. The former may indicate a desire to end the discussion, akin to conceding to a pushy salesman, while the latter signifies a genuine recognition of shared understanding without judgment. When your counterpart responds with "that's right," it indicates an epiphany, acknowledging your ability to empathize without judgment. To elicit this powerful phrase, employ labeling to identify their emotions, and then paraphrase their position. This combined approach creates a summary that prompts either agreement or disagreement. If they nod and say that's right, you've successfully guided their thinking, gaining the upper hand in the negotiation process. At this point, they're primed to make the deal you've been aiming for. Part 6. Calibrated questions. Picture entering a department store, only to be bombarded with inquiries from eager sales associates. Are you searching for something specific? Can I assist you in finding an item? Have you heard about our ongoing sale? This onslaught of questions quickly becomes exasperating, prompting you to respond with a simple yes or no, before continuing with your shopping. Did the sales associate succeed in assisting the customer? It's doubtful. The fundamental flaw lies in the fact that the sales associate relied solely on yes-no questions, failing to understand the customer or establish trust. Yes-no questions are inadequate for building rapport. Instead, they are geared towards making a point and often hinder progress during negotiations. So, what type of question yields the most productive results? Open-ended questions that stimulate critical thinking in the opponent. Mastering the art of open-ended questions encourages active participation and collaborative problem-solving in negotiations. Chris advocates for calibrated questions that guide the opponent's focus and prompt them to actively engage in the negotiation process. For example, the department store sales associate, aiming to make a sale, could employ questions that encourage dialogue and interaction with the customer. Queries like, "What brings you in today?" and "What features do you appreciate or dislike about this product?" are far more effective in facilitating sales. By taking the time to understand the customer's preferences and dislikes, the sales associate can swiftly establish rapport and identify precisely what the customer is seeking, thereby enhancing the likelihood of making a sale. Reflecting on a hostage situation debacle in 2001, Voss recounts how Abu Sayyaf kidnapped 20 hostages in Manila, including 3 Americans. Ineffective communication with the rebel leaders led to escalating tensions, prompting the Philippine government and army to declare war on the terrorist group, exacerbating the crisis and resulting in casualties, including 2 American captives. Voss acknowledges that their negotiation strategy was flawed, rooted in retaliation, rather than collaboration. Both sides focused on demands and aimed to defeat each other, leading to stagnant conversations and catastrophic outcomes. This scenario highlights the importance of using calibrated questions to foster calmness and cooperation, potentially steering negotiations towards a more favorable resolution. Part 7. Throw out the golden rule. The golden rule of treating others as you wish to be treated may sound appealing in everyday interactions, but it's a flawed approach in negotiations. In the realm of deal-making, understanding and catering to the preferences of your counterpart is paramount. Rather than revealing your own preferences, it's crucial to discern the negotiation style of the other party to leverage it to your advantage. But how can this be achieved? In any negotiation, initiating with extreme anchors sets the stage for strategic advantage. This involves proposing an initial offer that is intentionally outrageous and unlikely to be accepted, but serves to reveal the negotiation style of the opponent. Understanding your counterpart's negotiation style is invaluable, as it allows you to tailor your approach for maximum effectiveness. Let's delve into the primary negotiation styles and their associated characteristics. Number 1. Accommodators. These negotiators prioritize relationship building and seek mutually beneficial outcomes. They are talkative, value information exchange, and strive for win-win scenarios. However, they may become agitated by silence. Number 2. Assertive. Assertive negotiators prioritize efficiency, viewing time as valuable currency. They emphasize respect, seek to be heard, and use silence as a means of communication. Number 3. Analysts. Methodical and detail-oriented, analysts approach negotiations with precision. They dislike surprises, maintain a healthy skepticism, and value silence as an opportunity for contemplation. Crucially, it's essential to recognize that imposing your own negotiation style onto your counterpart is counterproductive. Instead, invest time in studying and understanding your opponent's tendencies. By anticipating their actions and preferences, you can navigate negotiations effectively, ultimately securing the deal you desire. Part 8. Identify the Black Swan. In the early hours of June 17, 1981, William Griffin, aged 37, departed from his parents' residence in Rochester, New York, armed with a shotgun. He fired 3 shots, resulting in the deaths of his mother and a handyman, while his stepfather sustained injuries. As he ran through the city streets, Griffin targeted a worker and 2 passers-by, before entering a local bank. Holding 9 employees hostage, he instructed customers to vacate the premises. During negotiations via phone, Griffin demanded that the police confront him at the bank's doors and take his life by 3 o'clock, threatening to harm the hostages otherwise. Griffin imposed a deadline, a tactic unfamiliar to negotiators, who historically observed that hostage-takers typically sought specific demands, such as money or power, rather than arbitrary deadlines. Despite attempts to establish communication with Griffin within the 30-minute window, their efforts were futile, as Griffin remained unresponsive. At the appointed time, Griffin directed 29-year-old Margaret Moore to the front of the bank, and fatally shot her twice in the abdomen, shocking both law enforcement and negotiators. This unprecedented event, as analyzed by Chris Voss, represents a black swan, an occurrence beyond conventional expectations and predictions. In Griffin's case, negotiators misjudged his intentions, presuming he sought monetary gain, rather than recognizing his suicidal intent, resulting in tragic consequences for Margaret Moore, a single mother. To preempt such unforeseen events, Voss advocates for identifying black swans, or unknown unknowns, by adopting the perspective of one's opponent. Understanding their worldview, including factors such as religion and personal beliefs, can unveil critical insights for successful negotiation. By uncovering these hidden elements, negotiators gain leverage in deals. Armed with knowledge surpassing their counterparts' expectations, they can exploit black swans to assert dominance. By empathizing with their opponent's perspectives and discerning their values and objectives, negotiators can navigate deals while anticipating and mitigating potential risks posed by unknown unknowns. Part 9. Bend their reality. How often have you left a negotiation feeling dissatisfied with the outcome? Perhaps you aimed to secure a lower price for a car, or found yourself compromising more than you intended. What drives these decisions that leave you feeling unhappy? It could be the pressure of time, fatigue, or a sense of resignation, leading to compromises that fall short of your desires. Chris Voss emphasizes the importance of avoiding rushed decisions and refusing to compromise. When you compromise, you merely meet halfway, but the goal should be to shape the reality to your advantage. Timelines and deadlines are potent tools in negotiation, allowing you to bend reality to your advantage. Businesses often employ deadlines in deals to induce a sense of urgency, increasing the likelihood of impulsive decisions. However, negotiators like Chris recognize that deadlines are subjective and flexible, resisting the pressure to succumb to arbitrary time constraints, and instead leveraging them to influence the opponent. Another strategy to bend reality is through the perception of fairness. Consider why you accept a deal from a car salesman. It feels fair. Chris illustrates this concept with the proposer and acceptor theory. In an experiment where a proposer is given $10 to split with an acceptor, offers below $5 each are typically rejected. If the offer dips below $2, the acceptor feels insulted and is likely to reject it, even though receiving $1 would still be better than nothing. This demonstrates the influence of emotions in decision-making, as both parties would rather walk away empty-handed than accept an unfair deal. Ultimately, compromise may seem like the safe option, but it doesn't fulfill your aspirations. Instead, prioritize empathy, connection, and effective communication with your opponent. By asking questions and compelling them to see your perspective, you can shape the negotiation to your advantage without resorting to splitting the difference. Conclusion. By mastering the key strategies outlined by Chris Voss, you can excel as a negotiator in various aspects of life. Whether it's negotiating with your employer, your significant other at home, or a car salesman, employing these techniques can help you avoid compromising. It's essential to maintain composure, show empathy, and understand your counterpart's perspective. Building trust and rapport enables you to consistently achieve your desired outcomes without settling. As Chris Voss emphasizes, being an outstanding negotiator and a commendable individual involves both listening and speaking clearly and empathetically, treating others and yourself with dignity and respect, and being honest about your desires and limitations. Every interaction, negotiation, and moment in life presents opportunities for conflict resolution, which, when managed adept, can lead to remarkable outcomes. Embrace these challenges with creativity and resolve. Thank you for watching this episode. Please don't forget to subscribe. Your comments, likes, and shares are highly appreciated. See you soon in our next episode.